So these are the RDX F6 Kara boxing gloves. This glove uses a higher end PU leather and it's lasted for 2 years. They've mostly been used for sparring. You can see it's still intact, no tears yet. But at the same time, they've never been used for heavy bag work, and I don't think they would actually make great bag gloves. IMF is actually better in that instance. It has a mesh palm, but it's holding up well. It uses multi-layered foam, which is best suited for sparring and has good give for a budget glove. For the thumb strap, it uses a polyester webbing painted to match the glove. It's ugly but functional. The thumb is straight, which is just cheaper to make than a curved thumb, so it's not a puncher's glove. It doesn't use an elastic strip between the cuff flaps, so it can spread, which affects the wrist support, which I'll get into. The actual hook and loop strap does start from the flap, so you can overlap the two sides, which I like. The liner is smooth but loose, so it slides around the foam in your hand. The liner has lasted, but it's not super comfortable. The weight of the glove is written in a small tag inside the glove, making the weight hard to find. Also, when it's written like that, the writing tends to fade away. You can see here at the cuff, the piping is starting to lift and peel. Going back to the wrist, the glove offers very little wrist support. Another reason why you wouldn't want to bang away on a heavy bag with it. But here's the main problem, the hook and loop. The glove itself has lasted, the foam has lasted, the stitching has mostly lasted, but the hook and loop wore away pretty quickly. Actually, you can see some of the stitching around the wrist has started to come off too. It's not a stiff glove, but it doesn't have a lot of palm and wrist padding, so it's not ideal for blocking kicks. When you smack it on your palm, it has a give. You can actually open and close your palm. But the hook and loop problem makes it unusable. And it's not just one glove that has this issue. Both gloves have the same issue, so it's not a fluke. In a follow-up video, I'll show you the cheap way to fix worn out hook and loops. Hook and loop, by the way, is the generic term for Velcro. Since this is PU, you don't need to spray protectant on it because it already has a protective layer, but you still want to wipe it down after each use, especially mesh gloves, which tend to stink. Don't use anything with alcohol on your gear. I wipe the liner first and then the outside. Then I put charcoal bags inside. Make sure to activate the charcoal bags in the sun first, or they won't actually absorb moisture as intended. These gloves come in multiple colorways and go from 8 ounce all the way to 18 ounce. I love when a glove has lots of size options, especially up to 18. It doesn't make sense that a 120 pounder wears 16 ounce gloves for sparring and a 220 pounder also wears 16 ounce gloves. I do think these are good gloves for the price. Is it the best gloves out there in the $30 to $40 range? No, but maybe those other options don't have the color you want, or you want a low-key design, or you want a certain size, or you want multi-layered foam for sparring, and everything else in that range is IMF. Or you don't want to experiment with an unknown company. So the RDX F6 Kara makes it convenient and easy. It's a known brand, and you know what you're getting. And once I teach you how to fix the hook and loop, even these gloves will last. I'll put a link to everything I mentioned in the description below. With that said, if you like my educational content, I'd really appreciate it if you could like, share, and most of all, subscribe.